Well, Thanksgiving week is here, and we will be discussing the top plays in Thanksgiving history coming up. What's wrong with the NBA? And we will be talking NFL as well. That and more next on Good Sports. Thanks for joining us. I'm Randy Goode, and as always, if you like what you see and what you're hearing, please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to us. Not only when you hit that subscribe button, you'll get everything that we send out. We send out stuff multiple times during the week, but also it helps us be able to reach even more people, the more subscribers. We've gotten more again this week. We appreciate everybody, so thank you for that. I'm joined by Trent. It is Thanksgiving week. Trent, are you ready for Thanksgiving?
Yes. Not only do I love me some Thanksgiving food, but I love me some Thanksgiving football, Randy.
Yes.
I'm excited for some nice, juicy ham.
Oh.
I love ham.
Ham.
I'll always be a ham guy. Something about the ham. Listen, the turkey's good, but the ham is what I want to take home at night, you know? It's nice to flirt with the turkey. It's nice to flirt with the turkey, but I want to marry the ham.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Everybody has their own way. That's okay. That's good because, you know, for people like you, if it wasn't for people that liked ham more, I wouldn't get as much turkey.
That's true.
It works out for everybody. So.
It's for the people.
That's right. Well, we love Thanksgiving. It's a great time of year, family together and everything, so that's good. But thought it would be good to talk about some of the greatest moments in Thanksgiving history. I wanted to go through and say my top 5 moments. Sports moments in Thanksgiving. So I'm just going to go through those real quick, and then afterwards you can go ahead and give your opinions on it. Number 1, not in any order, just the first one. Peyton Manning got 6 touchdown passes. Talk about fantasy football. I would love a quarterback to get more than 1 touchdown pass, or actually just be healthy. But
how's Brock Purdy working out for you this fantasy season?
He had a little time off. I don't know how much time off he's going to have. But 6 touchdowns. I mean, you won the game, basically, your fantasy
Maybe
team.
you should pick up Peyton Manning on the waiver wire.
I did better with Caleb Williams last week, so he helped out. That's how bad it's gotten. The second one on there is the coin flip game. I'll never forget how it goes into overtime. Jerome Bettis is supposed to call it in the air. He says tails.
Yeah.
As soon as it happens, the ref says he calls heads, and he's like, no, tails.
Yeah.
And then it's tails, and they give the ball to the Lions, and Jerome Bettis is like, what's going on? And back then, it was the first team that scored.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, they get the ball, the Lions go right down, Steelers lose.
This is what still doesn't make sense to me today. Could no one have like stopped and said, okay, we got cameras. We have audio recording. Can we not just stop and say...
That one was obvious.
Yeah.
That was obvious.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
And I do remember at one point, the ref did come out and he said, well, he murmured quietly heads.
Yeah.
And then yelled tails. And I'm like... Even if that's true, does it really matter to the situation? Because the coin's still in the air when he yells tails.
Call it plays in the air. Heads is the call. He said heads, it is a tails.
Yeah.
So does it really matter to the situation?
No.
That's what doesn't make any sense.
Why they couldn't fix that is unbelievable. And a game, one win is so huge in the NFL.
Yeah.
And Jerome Bettis is arguing, no, I said head. So we'll try. Hopefully, Drew will be able to show that. And just a classic moment.
I got a question, though.
Yeah.
Just if we're going to play heads and tails right now.
You should play heads, though. I always go heads.
Yeah, I always get heads. That's an easy rule. Okay, the next thing, though. If I flip the coin, could I be like heads, tails, heads, tails, head, tails, and then it hits the ground? And whatever the last one I called?
I don't think so. I think it's the first thing you say.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's still in the air when I'm saying it.
At some point, you've got to make a commitment.
I know. I'm going to commit when it hits the ground.
I've never seen anybody do it. Maybe that's what the ref was hearing in his head, heads, tails, and he just got confused. So that could have happened. So the third Thanksgiving moment was, I believe, in 1998. And a young Randy Moss against the Dallas Cowboys.
The freak.
3 catches. He has only 3 catches for the game, but they were all touchdowns, and he had 163 yards. That's like 56, 57 yards an average.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That's insane.
That was insane, and the fact that they beat the Cowboys was extra special.
We're talking a 4-hour-long game.
Yeah.
And he touched the ball 3 times.
3 times.
But all 3 of those were the difference in the game.
Yeah, and none of them were like 5-yard slants that he just ran.
Yeah.
They were all just, they threw it as hard as he could. I think it was Culpepper.
Yeah,
threw
Dante.
it as hard as he could, and Randy Moss just passes everybody.
Yep.
Pretty impressive.
Dante Culpepper.
Number 4, again, not in any order, but in 2012, Mark Sanchez.
This is one of my personal favorites.
Quarterback. He goes back, and I believe, if I remember right, the play got botched because it was supposed to be a run. He hands it off. Either he went the wrong way or the running back went the wrong way. So he says, hey, as a quarterback, there's nobody left. I'm going to go run forward. And instead of running forward in an open spot, I think it was Vince Wilfer. He goes and he blows up the center, pushes him back into Sanchez, and it's the famous butt fumble. And not only is it a loss, he fumbles it, and the Patriots run it back for a touchdown. Just a beautiful classic play.
Yeah. I don't know how he feels comfortable being on TV after that play.
Oh, man.
I do wonder sometimes, though, because this is one thing I've never understood. You ever see a running back run the ball, and you just watch them run into the back of their own offensive lineman? Sometimes I'm just like, why'd you do that? You know? And I guess from my point of view, it seems like, wow, that was really dumb. But, you know, maybe there's something to it. I don't know. Maybe they're just moving so quickly that to predict where that lineman was going to be ahead of time, and he's just running into him on accident. But it just never made sense to me.
Maybe they're confused when their coach says run behind your offensive line, and they're like taking it literally.
Literally.
That's when you know they got a concussion on the previous play.
Yeah.
So when they're just running. But the butt fumble, famous. Mark Sanchez will never let that, never live that down. That was
never
classic.
Look at him the same. Same thing with Dan Orlowski.
No, I know when he runs out of the end zone.
Yeah, I just never look at that guy with the respect he probably deserves.
So I don't know if Mark Sanchez got a Heisman Trophy. He was in the contention. I can't remember if he got it or whatnot.
I don't think so.
But can you think you're a top quarterback in the NFL, right? You make the NFL top quarterback in college football. And then you go and you play a good decade in the NFL, and as soon as somebody sees you, you're the butt fumble guy. You're the butt fumble guy.
Yeah,
that would just suck, no matter what you did. And he early on got, I think, the Jets to an AFC Championship game. I mean, he was doing well.
Oh yeah, he was a pretty good little quarterback for a while.
They had a great defense, but the butt fumble he'll never let down. And the last one was another Dallas Cowboy game, and it was the famous Leon Lett. Miscue. Now, Leon Lett had just come off a Super Bowl where he had a huge return for a touchdown, and he lifts his arm out in celebration, and he fumbles the ball at like the 1-yard line. He gets it released, and so he was living that down. Following year, here they are. The game's on the line. Miami in a snowstorm is kicking the ball. They kick the field goal with like 8 seconds to go, something like that, and Miami gets it blocked. All Dallas has to do after it's blocked is not touch the ball. Game's over.
Yeah.
Leon Lett says, oh, this is my moment. And he, for some reason, comes stumbling, mumbling, bumbling over and just kind of muffs the ball. Shouldn't have touched it. And if he is at least going to grab it, hold on to it, he just kind of kicks the ball, whatever. And Miami recovers. And because there's 3 seconds to go, the rule is that they get an automatic first down, and they get a chance to kick it again. And back then, it was so much commotion when Miami originally went onto the field, they didn't have time to like clean off a spot for the kicker either. So during all this commotion, while they're arguing and trying to figure out what's the play,
because the snow is thick.
So the whole Miami team, while the refs are talking and everybody's discussing, they're clearing off a spot for the field goal. And they're like, okay, good, we've got this. And then they get moved back. The refs moved them, so that spot didn't work. So then the team starts trying to quickly move the snow off again. And then the refs moved it back to the original spot. The whole game was just crazy. Anyway, Miami goes on and makes the field goal. And Leon Lett was a great defensive player.
Oh, yeah.
And he's remembered for the fumble in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, 2 plays.
And for this play right
here. 2 plays. Yeah, the Buffalo Super Bowl, that was quite interesting.
Yes. I can't remember if that was Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, so these top 5 plays.
I think it was Don
BB was one.
BB. Yeah.
Is it BB? I can't remember if I'm getting the Dallas Cowboy or the Buffalo Bill guy.
No, yeah, it was Don Beebe. Yeah.
It?
Yeah, the wide receiver that ran him down.
Yeah, I mean, that was an unbelievable play where he comes back and, makes, because they were down by so much in that Super Bowl. But how would you rank these top 5 plays?
Oof. I don't know. That's hard. I don't know. The Peyton Manning thing's great. But I feel like during Thanksgiving, we want to see people fail. You know? It's awesome to have a great game, but it's even more awesome to see people fail. But the Randy Moss game's pretty high up there.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about the Randy Moss game.
Okay. You think Randy Moss 3 catches number one?
The thing that is
Memorable?
different, the thing that's different about the Randy Moss game that sets it apart is not only was it a massive game on Thanksgiving in front of millions of people because there's only so many games on during Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. Okay. And all the families are together watching. But Dallas was actually the team that passed up on Randy Moss in the draft. He thought he was going to go to Dallas.
Yep.
So that was a revenge game for him.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
So that's part of it, too. There's a lot.
These are tough.
Man.
They're all big moments. Thanksgiving has brought us a lot of good moments.
I guess for me personally, and this is probably only because I'm younger, to be honest with you. So I'm probably going to grade this a little bit different. Give me Randy Moss, number 1. Okay. Give me the Miami field goal, number 2.
Okay.
And then give me the coin flip 3. And Mark Sanchez, we're going to make that last. We'll go Peyton Manning 4 and Mark Sanchez 5.
Okay.
Boom.
All right.
What was yours?
Well, man alive. I should have probably done this. Number 1, I would say the Leon Lett.
No.
Leon Lett. Part of it is just my feelings towards the Cowboys.
Did you watch that game live?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the difference is I've only watched it in reels.
Yeah.
I wasn't alive when that happened.
This was great. Oh, it was such a great moment. Yeah. I was so happy. So that was probably number 1 for me. Number 2, I think the coin flip, that changed an entire game, one spot, and a ref just absolutely blew it. I thought that was fantastic. I would say, to me, the butt fumble is everybody knows immediately. People don't say Peyton Manning 6 touchdowns on Thanksgiving, but everybody's heard of the butt fumble. So I would say that would be my 3rd. And I guess Randy Moss 4 and Peyton Manning 5.
Do you think even when he's at dinner, at a nice restaurant, people are just walk up to him and be like, "Hey, are you the butt fumble guy?"
All the things he's done.
Imagine how much worse it'd be too if they didn't wear helmets in the NFL and he could be recognized by his face.
Oh, man. That was.
He would for sure be in any public setting. They'd be like, the putt fumble guy,
And the poor guy.
Yeah.
He's on air now. He does a good job, but
he actually is pretty good on
yeah,
air.
and he did a solid job. I mean, he was in the NFL. I don't know how long he's in the NFL, but it was good 10 years.
I think
probably.
He played for the Eagles for a little bit too.
So, but fumble, unless you go and you win, even if you'd have won a Super Bowl, he'd have been the butt fumble guy that ended up winning a Super Bowl. You're stuck with that. So no matter what. Yeah. Anyway, so all right. Well, those are our Thanksgiving. In the comments, if I'd like you guys, if you would rate them, if you have one that's more important than something else, if we didn't mention something, put it in there. Tell us if you agree, disagree. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. I want to go into something else right now. The NFL this last week. It's been a little depressing time for me. I'll just be honest with you. So my passion right now, I'm a little low on my excitement level, but the Packers destroyed. I don't know if you'd call them the 49ers or the G League version of the 49ers because there's nobody left on the team.
It's completely decimated.
And then you had the Eagles.
See, you could be excited about that. You're welcome.
Yeah, the Eagles destroyed the Rams. That was good. Saquon Barkley looks awesome.
Yeah.
You have the Steelers and the Browns. I say that is a wash because of the snow.
Yeah.
Whenever you have weather like that, you never know what is going to happen.
If you're the Steelers, you can't really take that personally.
No. I mean,
this is the thing, too. It's the Steelers rely heavily on the deep ball.
Yep.
The deep ball and a steady run game.
And the deep ball's gone.
You're not going to throw that in the snow.
No.
There was one incompleted pass where Russell Wilson just completely read the situation wrong, missed George Pickens.
Yeah.
I really needed that touchdown for fantasy. Thanks a lot, Russell. Never starting George Pickens again. It's not anything to do with George, mostly just Russell Wilson sucks. Sorry, was that too much?
No, that's okay. I think you should drop Pickens right now. And somebody might pick him up.
But no, with the snow, you can't blame him.
No,
you can't blame him.
No.
And at the end of the day, Jameis Winston is an animal.
I
love that guy.
See how excited he was before the game.
That guy.
He would be fun to play.
Man, I just want to. God bless me to play in the snow today. Yeah. I'm like, yes,
yes. He was awesome.
He's so great.
He was classic. He was in a mood that was just all joy. And then he did his little snow angel after the game. Yeah, he was a kid, and he's a guy that you could tell went from the number 1 pick. I think did he go to Florida?
FSU.
Yeah. Okay, and FSU.
He was
right.
Seminole, right?
That's right. He was a Seminole. But he's had some struggles, off and on, and you can tell he's just like, you know what, I'm enjoying the moment. I don't know if I'm going to get another start ever, and I might get 10 more, I might get 20 more, but he's enjoying the moment. So I thought that was really cool. And the other thing was a hardball. It was a hardball too. So the brothers got to play each other, Ravens, Bolts, and John won again. But Jim
had a good career.
But Jim has done great. I mean, that guy turned I think the Chargers had the 5th pick or something like that in the draft, and here they are towards the top of the AFC. I mean, they're looking really good. But younger brother, I think John's the younger brother.
Yeah.
He got the win again. So what were your thoughts of those games overall?
Yeah, I mean, you just went over a lot of games, Randy.
Yes.
What do you want me to start with the 49ers?
Yeah.
Yeah, sad. Sad.
We don't have to talk much about that. It's literally a preseason game 1.
I'm sorry, but I do want to bring up the Packers.
Okay.
They look okay.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
You don't know what they look like because they played a horrifically bad team.
Yeah.
The 49ers played a quarterback that hasn't played in 3 years, and they started him.
I didn't even know he was on the team.
He had a broken finger on his left hand before the game.
Yeah.
That's who they're playing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they didn't play Joshua Dobbs. I was a little confused.
Yeah.
But if a guy that hasn't played in the league in 3 years with a broken finger is better.
Joshua Dobbs on your roster?
Yeah.
And you didn't play him?
No, we played broken finger Allen. Huh. And I don't know. So anyway. So you don't know. You can't.
Is that just Kyle Shanahan just trying to hurt himself again?
I think he sometimes overthinks himself. Allen has a little stronger arm, and I think he was trying to...
Conspiracy theory time.
All right.
Okay. They didn't want any quarterback to come in there and look good, because then Brock Purdy would get more hate, and the team would not respect him as much. So they purposely started the worst quarterback to help Brock out.
I think
it was a favor to Brock.
Kyle Shanahan's not...
Nick Wright moved him up on the mountain.
Last week?
On a bye week. He moved him up. He's never, ever... Listen, Rainey. Nick Wright has never moved a player up on a bye week. He did it this week.
And Purdy went up.
Yes, because the Allen played so bad. He was like, oh, wow, so Purdy's actually pretty good.
Nick needs a drug test. He needs a drug test.
I think... Conspiracy theory.
They did it on purpose.
They purpose.
Sabotaged.
Maybe Kyle Shanahan watches Nick Wright. Maybe he's a Nick Wright fan.
Maybe all the players on the defense are healthy. It's all for Purdy. It's all because of what Nick Wright says.
I just want to say with the Packers, though, Josh Jacobs, another free agent running back in the offseason, coming from the Raiders, changed the team. He is electric. 3 touchdowns. Yeah. And you see that spin move on one of the safeties at the end? Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. He is awesome. He's playing a great game of football. Yep. He starts out slow every single year. Yeah. And then he somehow, you look at the end of the year, like, oh, he has 1,200 yards.
And in the NFL, there's so much, you're getting hit so much. Yeah. I think you need 3 running backs.
3?
Teams, yeah, I think you need 3. Not to play every game. I think you play 2 every game. And then you need to have a third one that is a competent running back to help fill in as a second running back in each game. I think I don't know what Shanahan is thinking at all. He takes McCaffrey, who has 2 Achilles, tendonitis in both Achilles. He's gone, and then he runs him every time. I think Jordan Mason had 1 run for 16 yards.
Wow.
Until the very end of the game. and he did one carry the game before. He just stops using the fourth leading rusher in the league. He just runs people on the ground. I think it's smart when you have, now it's a little easier for Detroit because they have two really good running backs. But when you have two good running backs, it makes a huge difference. Because if you put that second one in and you're never going to run him, then the other team knows you're going to pass every time that guy's in while your main running back is getting a break. So I think teams should invest more in running backs, but quantity.
Yeah. Do you see what this right here?
What's that?
Josh Jacobs currently has 944 yards. He almost has 1,000 already. He's projected with his current projection totals for 1,500 yards.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. And he costs less than Saquon.
Yeah. Yeah, but Saquon looks good.
You got to love having Saquon.
Saquon.
All right, let's move to the Eagles game.
Yes.
Let's move to the Eagles game. 300 yards.
That's
passing and running.
That is
or receiving and rushing.
Okay, let's put that in perspective for a second. He had, 200 and how many yards rushing was that?
250.
250.
Yeah.
This week, the Seattle Seahawks had 60 yards total running. They beat their opponent, who had 50 yards in rushing.
Yeah.
Both teams combined for 110 rushing yards. That includes quarterbacks running the ball. And Saquon had 250 yards himself. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's pretty fantastic. I'm not going to lie.
You got a grin.
It makes me so happy.
From the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean.
You know what makes me happy is the fact that I just keep on seeing videos of the New York Giants GM, the owner.
Oh.
He's like, man, it would really suck to see Saquon go to another rival team and just see him, really beating us up. I'm not going to sleep right at night. He's not sleeping right now. I can tell you right now, that man has gotten no sleep for weeks.
Yeah, will
somebody pray for him?
Do you think they'll take the Boise State running back?
Oh, I think they would like to.
Yeah,
but they need a quarterback. What are they going to do?
They need a quarterback and they need an offensive line.
Yeah.
You can be as good as you can be.
Well, that's the problem. They had Saquon for 5 years, and they didn't fix the offensive line in 5 years. They had him for 5 years.
Yeah.
He didn't have a good... Yeah, 5 years, because it was 4 plus the I think it's 5.
Yeah.
They had him for 5 years, and they never fixed the offensive line. 5 years of Saquon Barkley,
and you
never
him.
once had a good
you
offensive
waste
line.
Him. You don't waste a quarterback. You don't.
And
waste
now
a
you
running
see
back.
a guy who currently is on pace. You ready for this, Randy?
All-purpose yards.
He's projected for 21.5. 2,150 yards projected right now.
Wow.
That is not only the record.
Wow.
That's the record by a good amount. Okay. Wow. Now, let me just go into this. Okay. He also
they let him go.
Is still at 400 receiving yards right now.
So 2,500 yards all purpose is what you're saying?
Right now, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. 2,500 all purpose yards.
Wow.
And
you have Jalen Hurts doing his thing, and you have a couple good receivers.
Yep. Remember when we came in here, I don't know, what was it, week 3?
Yeah.
And I said, all we need to do is not have Jalen turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And look what he's done. He didn't turn the ball over, and we're winning football games.
Yeah.
Listen, if you protect the ball, we have found a lot of success because we have a good team. But where we struggle is when we start to turn the ball over, and then you don't look so good.
Yeah. Well, and your defense is looking really good, too. I mean, that's impressive.
Number 1. We're the number 1 defense in the league.
Yeah.
And...
Boy, I'm going to really have to think about our pick coming up because you've got a big game coming up this week.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. The hardest thing from that football game is I was really happy for Saquon. Eagles record, his personal record. But Brandon Graham, after the game, announced that he tore his pec and he's done. So,
and he had a great game.
He had a big game. He had an awesome game.
I saw him on the sideline afterwards.
He is like fine wine.
Oh.
He has only gotten better with age.
He was playing good.
And he was playing good.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And honestly, it just breaks my heart a little bit for him because this is year 15 for him.
Yeah.
And most likely it's going to be his last. Because he said at the beginning of the year it was his last, and he kind of went back on his word.
That's like a 6-month injury, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's probably no way he could even play.
I could be wrong. So is his pec?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember. It seems like.
So you want to hear my crazy theory?
What's that?
It's the last time the Philadelphia Eagles lost one of their veteran linemen was 2017. You know what they did in 2017?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles,
was that
fly.
Nick Foles?
Yep.
Nick Foles.
Yep.
Woo!
So we lost Jason Peters.
The greatest quarterback of all time.
We lost Jason Peters in the
That's sad.
in the season, okay? And they ran out the tunnel with Jason Peters' jersey in their arms.
In the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So are you foreshadowing right now?
I'm foreshadowing. I don't want to say anything to you. I'm not going to say what people want me to say.
Well,
but I'm saying it.
I'm not giving up hope yet. Well, I kind of. I haven't yet.
I think this is a huge loss on the field, but it's a massive gain for the sideline. I think he is going to come out there and he is going to be a rally leader. Yeah. I mean, he is anyone will tell you he's a huge leader in that locker room, and I think he'll be a massive leader in the locker room and on the field now. Yeah. So it is sad, though.
That's
what about, let's talk a little bit about the Chargers-Baltimore.
Yes.
Okay.
I think the Chargers were up 10-0 in the game.
What was your perspective on that?
Of what? Which
part?
Part?
Of Baltimore in general. It just, because we play them next week, so I'm starting to think, what does it look like to play Baltimore?
There's a lot of these teams you can't tell because they start looking really, really good, and then they lay some eggs, and so it's surprising. I think next week, we'll talk about it here in a little bit, it's going to come down to the running game. You have Henry and Barkley. Who's going to win that matchup? Obviously, turnovers.
Did you hear what Henry said after the game?
No.
They asked him, because he had tweeted out Saquon's night, basically. Oh. And someone brought it up, and he was like, that man needs to slow down.
Well, Saquon can run through people, but he's like a joystick. So
not the same way that Derrick Henry does.
Henry just goes straight, north, south, boom.
Yeah.
Don't get in my way.
And he hurts.
Yes. But as the season goes on, I mean, Henry ran really good last Monday night, so we'll see. We'll talk about that coming up.
Yeah,
but that was a good game and a good win for a bounce back game for the Baltimore Ravens.
I guess what I was looking at is I still think the weird part was watching the Chargers and Ravens almost felt the same.
Yeah,
I feel like the Chargers are still looking for their real identity.
Yeah,
because they want to be a running team.
Yeah,
but they got these wide receivers that aren't very good, but they're still trying to get them attempts.
Yeah.
And, Lad McConkey's kind of playing that Wes Welker role for them.
He's done really well.
And he's doing really good. Yeah. But Jordan Palmer Joshua Palmer and Quentin Johnson, they're dropping passes like no other. Yeah. It's weird because they have an all-time talent arm at Justin Herbert, but they're a running football team. And I think they're still trying to find their identity a little bit.
I don't think Herbert is at that upper echelon
all-time talent arm. I didn't say quarterback. Okay, yes. I didn't say quarterback.
He's got the height and the arm.
Yes.
But he's done a good job this year.
Yeah.
Better job.
Yeah.
But they're almost like if you lined them up and you said, would you want Lamar or Herbert? You'd pick Lamar.
That's what I was going to say, though. This is why it feels so weird, is because I feel like
it seems like Baltimore's got the edge on multiple levels.
Yeah. I just feel like the Ravens are almost in the exact same place, though.
Yeah.
Like, they have Derrick Henry and Gus Edwards, who are fantastic running backs. Not Gus Edwards. Oh, my gosh.
So
it's not Gus Edwards. It's the other guy.
So what would you be thinking? Are you trying to say that you think the Ravens are
well, I just feel like they still haven't really found their identity.
They're underachieving? Or?
Yeah, I think they're underachieving. I think with that team, they are
Mark Andrews has done really well.
Justice Hill. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. That's the other running back.
Other running back.
Yeah,
okay.
He had a touchdown the other night too. He's a stud. I like him. He's a good pass catching back. But anyways, you got Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Lamar Jackson. They got some receivers out there. A good set of tight ends. Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews. And I just still feel like when I watch them play, I'm like, what's your identity? Because at one point, they'll be a running team, and then they played like the Browns that 1 week, and I'm like, you guys couldn't even pass the ball for nothing. But then they go out and play the Chargers, and they throw some deep bombs, they make it work.
I heard people say that it was going to take them a while. They lost, I think, 3 offensive linemen. They lost their linebacker. There's a lot of turnover on that team, and so it might take a little while to get your feet under you. So it's just, I think, taking them a while. I don't know. If they play good, they can beat anybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Zay Flowers looks really good.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a good little team. So, well, let's move on. That's the NFL. I wanted to talk about what is wrong in the NBA. The ratings. ESPN came out with their ratings. Well, I don't think they came out with the ratings. I think but it came out 28% down. And so the question is, what is going on? Why are people not watching? I think a lot of it, a few years ago, they lost a lot of viewers with how they kind of detracted away from the NBA and it went into a different arena. But currently, the game is not as fun to watch, in my opinion. So they have moved the 3-point line back and forth over the years. Now it's such a 3-point shooting game. It's totally changed. And you got a couple things going on. One, players don't play the whole season. If you look back in the 80s and the 90s, they played every game. Now, good players, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he'll play 55 games a year. They're making $50 million a year, and they're spoiled. They don't try as hard. They don't go to the hole as hard. It's all about just stand around the 3-point line and shoot. It's a boring game to watch. When you have people attack the rim ferociously, there's physicality, there's fouls at the rim. Now it's just 3-3-3. It's a 3-point shootout. It's hard to watch at times. So what are your thoughts? Why do you think the NBA is struggling?
Yeah, I don't know. Steph Curry really changed how we play basketball now a lot. And I don't know. I think maybe there's a few things. For me personally, it's the not playing.
Yeah.
That's what drives me up the wall. That's like my personal pet peeve.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what necessarily the rest of America's thinking. I can tell you the reason why I struggle with basketball a lot is, you buy, even if you go and buy tickets for a game, you have to buy them 3 months, 2 months in advance.
Yep. Yeah.
Otherwise, you pay hundreds of dollars.
Yep.
I mean, if you buy tickets like, I don't know, a week before, you're going to spend $800 for bad seats.
Yeah.
Not even great seats.
I will tell you, the last game that I bought was we went to a Laker game. Now I haven't bought a ticket in a few years. Actually, it wasn't the last game. I did buy one since then. But we went into LA. The Lakers sat the entire all 5 starters. It was against Golden State. Didn't play.
Yep.
Then their 2 best players off the bench. The top 7 players didn't play. There was like 7, 8 games left in the season. They played Golden State. Golden State had their players, so we got to at least watch them. But here I'm a Laker fan. I fly to LA to watch my team play, and I'm watching nobody.
Yeah.
It was, and it's just a shame. And you used to never get that. You knew the only way somebody's not playing is they've torn their Achilles. They've ruptured their knee. Yeah. Something bad. Even if they're sore or hurting, they played.
Well, that's why I kept on, I don't know. I've gone so much back and forth with this because no one likes my answer, but it is the right answer. I'm sorry, it is. It is. And that's the problem, is the games don't mean enough.
No.
When you play 80 games a year, they don't mean enough. It's the same problem with baseball. Think of how many more people would want to watch baseball games if they meant something.
Yep. You can lose
the World Series sells out every time. You know why? Because the game means something. Right?
Yep.
Guess what? The NBA Finals, they sell out every single time. You know why? Because the game means something.
Yeah.
Right? NFL football games, they sell like crazy. You know why? Because they mean something.
Yep.
The problem is when you play 80 freaking games,
yeah.
They don't mean anything.
Yep.
You could not play for 10 of the games and still make the playoffs.
And so it's not only does it not mean something for the fans, but also the players know that too.
Yes.
Which is why they rest.
It's not a joke.
Yeah. So they say, why am I killing myself in week 10?
Yes.
And so
I still got to play 10 more weeks.
Yep. So
I mean, that's the problem.
It's killing the
NBA. I bought tickets for Grace and I to go watch the Golden State Warriors versus the Trailblazers. Curry and Clay didn't play that night.
Yeah.
And I think, Draymond played, and I don't remember who all played and not, but it was just frustrating.
Yeah.
Listen, let me just tell you, those tickets between the two of us, it was over 1,000.
Yeah.
And they weren't even like that spectacular seats. It wasn't like we were front row.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a lot of money.
Well, yes. And I will not disclose on the air what we paid for our LA tickets.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous, and to not watch any of our players play, was insane. It's unforgivable. But I think this, not only that, but I think the 3-point shot. It's different. you're right. It was definitely changed in Golden State with the Splash Brothers and Curry. But Curry does it with style, and he has charisma. He's fun. He's a fun. I mean, he shoots, he turns, he dances, he does the salsa dance. He does he's fun to watch. But in general, they're shooting threes. Like in the old days, when the NBA was at its highest, you might have a player shoot 4 times.
Yeah.
A three, but that's like, ooh, he shot 4 times. Now it's 4 1/4. It's ridiculous. And so every possession has a 3-point shot. So it's just the floor is spread. Nobody touches each other. There's no physicality. There's no fight. There's no hand checking. There's traveling. I mean, that Harden's travel was so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron James, you can show clip after clip where he picks it up just past half court and he just starts walking through and so the NBA is just, it's watered down. They don't try. There's too many games, like you say. They're going to have to do something, I think, with the rules to change it, to make the game an inside-out game, more physical, rather than just walk up, shoot 3, walk up, shoot 3.
Well, that was the problem is Curry made everyone feel like, well, if I have 3 feet between me and a defender,
I can get a shot off.
It doesn't matter where I'm out in the court, I'm open.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And that's just not the case.
Yeah.
That's just not the case. Steph Curry, his shooting percentage from the 3-point line and beyond is higher than anyone statistically anywhere close. Like, if you were to show a graph, this would be the average NBA player, and Steph Curry would be touching the ceiling right now.
Yeah, he's not somebody you model around.
It's not close.
Yeah,
it's not close.
So so we talked about this during the summer. I talked about a rule change before this happened, and I said 3-point line should be moved out. Now they've moved it back in. They moved it a few times. I know players can still shoot further, but if you move it out, it stretches the defense out. The offense is spread out more, and then there's an inside game. So now you don't even have an inside game. Almost all centers, not all, but almost all centers now are shooting threes.
Yep.
So you have 5 people. You just don't have the same type of game, and so it's watered down. So I hope they do something to fix it. But
I kind of got a little
watchable.
sidetracked, Randy. But my point of the matter is I want less basketball games. I want less.
That's okay. Well, you look
even
at the final.
You cut in half.
The Final Four, one of the things, nobody watches college basketball. There's like 28 games or something in the regular season. When it comes to the Final Four, everybody's watching. It's elimination day.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it exciting.
I don't know. I want less games. Sorry.
Okay, that's fair.
That's what I want.
Fair. Okay, well, let's talk college football.
Okay.
There is a sport where every game matters.
Every game does matter.
And,
unless you're Alabama. That's what we did find out this week. Alabama now 8-3.
Unbelievable.
Still right outside the playoffs. Number 13.
They still can make it.
Which
that doesn't seem right.
I'm sorry.
That seems like special.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't agree with that.
Part of me gets it because you play in the SEC. Listen, as much as we want to sit here and be like, it doesn't matter what conference you're in, the SEC is just different.
Yeah,
it's different. I promise you, the reason why the SEC is different, and for all the other colleges out there that says it doesn't matter what conference you play in, this is the reason why the SEC is different than other conferences. The SEC is different because of the fact that there is no bad schools in the SEC.
Well, yeah, and there's no denying when you go to the NFL draft and you see the first player, the third player, the fourth player, the sixth player, they're all from the SEC. A lot of them are. I mean, they definitely have a good talent or whatever.
The SEC is based in the heart of football, the area that is the heart of football, Texas, Alabama, Georgia. That is where football
LSU,
it's made, right? And on top of that, you also add in the fact that none of the teams are bad. They don't have a warm-up game.
Yeah.
They don't have a warm-up team. They're not Boise State, who is going to play some no-name school who barely made it into Division I.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't have warm-up games.
They don't have Utah State or Eastern Washington or New
You're
Mexico.
either ready or you're ready.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Or you'll get hurt.
I do see where they're coming from. I do think that they could have probably pushed them down a little bit further.
I think 3 losses, though, you're out.
Yeah. And I don't know.
That's just my opinion.
But it's different now. Listen, it used to be that like 2 losses and you're out, and that was when we only had 2 teams going to the big game.
Yeah. What is there, 12 now?
12.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of games. So let's just go over it real quick. We got Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State. Notre Dame moved up 1 spot. Georgia moved up 2. Okay, so we're at 6. Tennessee's back at 7, which I think they belong. Okay. Thank you. Go Bulls. Miami's at 8. I think that makes sense for them at this point. SMU, 9. They moved up. And then Indiana dropped to 5, which we saw that coming. Indiana had a tough game. We saw that was going to happen. Listen, we didn't expect Indiana to go in undefeated. Okay. They play in the Big Ten for a reason.
They're not a typical powerhouse college football.
Correct. Boise State moved up 1 to 11, and Clemson jumped up 5 spots to 12. So right now you have on the edge. Right now you have Miami, SMU, Indiana, Boise State, Clemson. Okay, these are the teams that I realistically see having a chance for this. Okay, Alabama's at 13. Yep. They definitely could still make it in. Okay, they got to go against Auburn, which is going to be a big game, which is only going to boost them if they win that game. Okay, and then you got Ole Miss, who we talked about them a while back ago. You remember we were talking about Ole Miss. They're finally putting it all together. They're also an 8-3 team sitting at 15.
Yep.
I don't think it's out of question that they could jump back up, but I think it would require Alabama losing another football game.
One of those teams you're going to have to lose.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So Alabama's probably going to have to lose for anything to happen. BYU's back down at 19 where they belong. Goodbye. And I think that's basically it. I honestly don't see any other team. Oh, we could talk about the fact that Colorado
dropped 7, right?
They had the easiest freaking schedule to get to the playoffs. They blew it.
They're done now.
You know what's the sad thing is all they had to do was win out and hope that someone lost. Hope that someone lost.
Yeah.
And someone did lose. Yeah. Gosh, I'm getting them backwards. Yeah. Someone did lose, right?
And unfortunately, they also lost.
Yeah. They blew it.
And Army had, they had hopes. What are they? They're 25th, right?
Yeah. They were undefeated, and now they're not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So right now,
Ole Miss, Alabama. Those are my 2 picks.
Who do you think are the
chance.
best 2 teams right now?
Two teams.
If you got to make the picks, who are the best 2 teams?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm probably gonna say, man, that is hard. I think my dark horse is definitely Ole Miss. I think they are I think Jackson Dart, their quarterback. I think they're putting it all together.
Okay.
It's just there's a chance they don't even make it to the big show.
Wow.
But I'd probably have to say Oregon, Ohio State are probably my top 2, and that's where they are. Yeah. Okay. Texas, I don't really feel great about Ewers right now. He's kind of been off and on. And then, I don't feel great about Georgia. I think their quarterback situation is a little interesting. I don't love Georgia right now. So Penn State, Notre Dame, I think they're there because they're conference, and they will quickly get handled once they play a real team. I don't know. We'll see. I think Tennessee's got a chance.
That's your Vols.
Listen, they really did put the hammer down on Georgia.
Yeah.
And then
that conference is mean.
It's mean. It's mean.
If you're a coach, you look at your schedule and you're like, okay, where are my gimmies? Okay, I've got none.
You got none.
So then because I always look at my teams and I go through when I think we're going to have a good year, I look at the gimmies and I say, okay, we're going to get 9 wins.
Yeah.
And then you have X amount of other games. And I say, let's say you split those. And that's where I kind of predict how I think things are going to go. Yeah. You would just go 500 if you did it that way.
Guess where the gimmies were this year? Their gimme is Vanderbilt, who beat them twice.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
That is brutal. Okay, well, let's go into our picks for next week. This is Thanksgiving week.
Yep.
We've got some interesting things coming up.
Are we picking just the Thanksgiving games?
Well, we could. Should we do the Thanksgiving games?
Let's do it.
We could
Let's do it.
We could do that.
And then Drew and I will go down to Alene and put the money in.
Oh, wow. All right, I'll let you guys put your own money in. That's great. I hope.
Whoa! I thought we were putting your money in.
I think you guys will do really well with that. It's a great idea.
Oh,
I'm really looking forward to that. So Thanksgiving games, we got the. Do you want to just pick one of these games or all 3? It's Bears, Lions, Dolphins, Packers.
Let's do all 3.
Giants, Cowboys.
This isn't really helpful for me.
Oh, that Giants Cowboys game. I mean, that is like watching
The saddest
like
of the
the
sad.
worst C team.
Who's
like,
gonna be worse?
Oh my! And neither want to win. I mean, Cowboys tried to lose, and they can't even get that right.
Yeah.
Cowboys and Giants. That's yeah. Okay. I do. That's
Is this week
that
12?
has 3-3 written all over it.
Yeah.
The tie game.
You know
3-3.
what's sad? The Cowboys are probably gonna win. Okay. We got Bears.
Ooh, Bears
Lions.
Let's start with the Bears Lions.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
go with Lions since I think they're the best team in the league.
Okay. Hold up. I got to write my little list here so I can remember this. I got you, Randy. Don't worry
Okay.
about it. I'm writing it down.
Yep.
I'm gonna write you down for the wrong one.
So I got Lions versus
I'll change it after
Bears,
the fact.
and we'll go with Drew. Drew behind the scenes. Who do you have?
I have Lions.
Lions. Okay.
I would be so sad if you didn't pick the Lions.
All right.
What if I just picked an upset?
You
Caleb
should-
Williams.
Oh. Hey, Caleb didn't throw a
Rookie of the year,
interception.
baby. He's on Mahomes Mountain. I'm taking him.
Hey, he saved me. I had no quarterback.
Hey, do that.
Listen,
so I
this
can
is the
get you.
problem,
He's
though.
not that great, but
This
he
is
was-
the problem, but I really need the Lions to lose.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
You've missed your opportunity because
Fly,
they've
Eagles,
come
fly.
close a couple times. Well,
Yeah.
pick Bears.
No.
Pick the Bears.
All right,
No?
who we got?
No,
Giants,
it's fair.
Cowboys?
Okay, well, we got Giants, Cowboys, and Dolphins, Packers.
Okay, let's do Giants, Cowboys.
Wow.
What are you doing there, Randy?
That is absolutely horrific. I am going to go with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going to just go with the Cowboys as well.
I don't know. That is two terrible teams. Drew, what do you have?
What is it? Cowboys, Giants?
Cowboys, Giants. You know what we should do is we should look at where it's at.
It's at Cowboys. It's always at
it's-
Cowboys.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to
That's
go
good.
Cowboys for that reason.
Okay.
Jerry World, baby.
All right, so we're in agreement. We
It's
got
Thanksgiving. Will be
now.
next
This
time.
this is the interesting game. The Dolphins, who are playing better, and you've got the Packers.
Here's the deal, though. This game doesn't really mean that much to the Packers.
Well, it does.
No,
but,
because they're not going to beat the Lions for the division.
No.
So they're looking at a wild card picture.
but depends on who you play though in the first round or the second round. If you get a home court,
You ready
Home
for
field.
this?
What's
this
that?
is why they don't want to win. Okay. I already thought about this. I
Oh,
looked
my.
at it the
You
other
have-
day.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready for this?
I'm barely.
Okay, so I looked at the playoff picture.
All right.
Who's number 1 right now in the NFC?
Detroit.
It's the Lions, okay?
Yep.
Who's number 2?
Eagles.
Okay, so the Eagles would play then the number so 2 would be 4, right?
No, there's 7 teams. So it's
Yes.
2,
sorry.
6.
Hold up.
2
It'd
and
be
2 and 6.
2, 6, right?
Yeah.
And then the 3 would play the 5, right?
Yes. I don't know. Something
Wait,
like that.
how are we getting this wrong?
I don't know.
There's something wrong. Hold up.
Well, okay. So let's look at this first of all.
All I'm saying is I looked at it the other day. I did the math on it.
Yeah.
If the Lions don't get the number 1 seed, guess who they play? The Packers.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. The first round of the playoffs.
Huh. Okay.
How it sits right now.
Yeah, but okay.
All
but-
I'm saying is
but
if you switch the Eagles and the Lions,
But if you're the Packers,
because the
you
Eagles
only
have a
have-
better schedule and the Lions have a harder schedule.
but the Packers only have 3 losses.
Yes.
The Eagles have 2 losses.
Yes.
They could lose this week against the Ravens.
Oh, they could for sure.
Okay, if they lose and it's tied.
Yeah, but it doesn't change it though.
I'm just saying
Because we're still the winner of the division.
I'm just saying if for some reason the Lions get hurt and they flame out and you're in the NFC Championship game, you might get home field. The second seed could get home field.
yeah, but they
throughout.
can't be the second seed because they won't win their division.
They could be, okay.
See what I'm saying? They will forcibly the highest in their spot they can go is 5.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to win their division. That's true.
So what I'm saying is there's a good chance.
And Tua and your argument is Tua. They have to win every game, so
they
they're
have
all
to
in.
win every game.
And
they're
they have
all
an easy schedule.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that their schedule outside of this game is simple
Easy, yeah.
going forward. So who do you have? Who do you have?
Give me the Dolphins.
Oh, he's going Dolphins. Okay.
Wait, hold up.
see.
I might change my answer.
I'm going
it's
Packers.
Is it at
It's-
Packers?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Lambeau. I'm going Packers. But I'm not. I don't feel
This is
great
a bad
about this pick.
This is a bad pick for me.
Not necessarily.
No, this is a terrible pick for me.
Well,
It's going to be cold.
It is going to be cold.
They don't play well in the cold.
The Dolphins don't really have a lot of cold temperatures in Miami.
No.
That's not known for the chill
I want to
factor.
switch now. I want to go to the Packers. Is that okay? Can I go to the Packers?
You can do whatever you want to do.
Okay, I'm going to the
I will
Packers.
accept that.
What's
Okay.
that? Who you got, Drew?
As a witness, I will accept that. I'm
Okay.
going Packers.
Sorry, I really think that the
Okay.
cold is too much to fight.
All right.
I do wish the best for you Dolphins fans, but
So
they have historically never played well in the cold. And Lambeau this time of year is frigid.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised there's snow on the ground.
Wow. Okay, so we're all on the same page on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, okay.
We have just a joy fest. So
49ers Bills, let's do it.
Okay.
This is a hard one for me, Randy. I really had to think long about it, but go Bills.
Okay. So let me give you an update of all I know right now for the 49ers before you make this pick.
Okay.
Okay.
I already made it, though.
Okay, but you can change.
No,
this.
I'm not going to change.
We've realized.
No, I'm not going to change
Okay,
that.
so just
Before he says that, I'm going Bills.
okay. All right.
I'm gonna lock you in. Can I lock you in, Drew?
Okay, so let me just say this real quick.
Can I lock you in, Drew?
Yeah.
Well, let me hear what he has to say first.
Oh, you want to lock it in. So Hufunga,
Yeah.
all pro,
Yeah.
safety,
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Somebody put
Shavarius Ward,
+1.
most likely out. Okay, he's our number 1 cornerback. Our number 2 cornerback, Lennar, hurt himself last game.
Okay.
It's not practicing, so we don't know, but it's not looking good.
Not a good look.
Okay. I was told Greenlaw would be back a couple weeks ago. Still haven't seen him.
Yeah. That's been
Not sure where he's out.
weird.
Hargrave's still out.
Yeah.
And Nick Bosa, kind of a big deal for the team. It's not practicing.
Hey, I did hear Joey Bosa might be available after this year.
That's great. Maybe we can get 1 out of 2 Bosas to play for us each week. So Bosa is likely out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's not good. We still have Drake, who's supposed to be our second pass rusher. He's out for the year, so he's out. Then we also have Trent Williams, who is out, is likely going to be out.
Yeah.
We do have Debo, who's playing terribly. He will play.
Yeah. I'm gonna still add a point for the Bills for Debo playing.
Yes, Debo has been horrific.
He looks like he ate the old Debo.
He did. Well, he also did. He had 100 yards, but it was spread out over about 5 games. So that's Debo right now. Ayuk is out for obviously the year.
Plus another point.
Both of our guards in the last game got hurt.
Ooh.
Are
plus 2
likely to
points.
not play. We have our center is playing. They just ranked. I just saw his ranking this week, so he's playing Brindle. Out of the top 40 centers, so they took the 30 plus 10 more that have played a certain amount of snaps. He's ranked 40th.
Ooh. Plus another
Okay,
point.
he's playing. So we got him playing, and McCaffrey, who is mediocre at best right now, he is not ready to play. He is playing. Purdy has been bumped up to questionable. And Kittle is banged up and questionable.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give you a point for
So-
Kittle and Brock not maybe playing.
And it's on the road.
+7.
Okay, so that being said, I am going to make a bold prediction right here that the Bills are going to win easily. That's what
I have you losing with just this simple math. I have you losing by 21 points.
Yeah, that's good. That means we get a late touchdown to pull within 21. So you never know. Brock Purdy is going to have to have the game of a lifetime if he plays. And I don't know who he's going to throw to. Nobody's going to block for him. I mean, he literally. Do you know? We have 2. We got a horrible right tackle and a really bad center. Those are our only 2 healthy offensive linemen. That's it.
Well, it sounds like we have a really great team. Oh wait, that's who we don't have.
Yeah, yeah. So I would agree with you on that. So okay. So here's the big one: Eagles, Ravens. Right?
Yep.
What do you got, Trent?
I'm not going to give you my reasoning. I don't want to give it away.
You have to. You're on the air. Everybody. There are people. Don't bet because of what we say, but we know. It's kind of gone well for if you have been going this route.
The problem is if I tell you my reasoning,
we're
then
not
you're going to know
professionals.
what to pick, and I don't want to just tell you what to pick. you
Okay.
know?
Yeah. Well, don't tell them what they should pick. You tell me what you should pick.
Oh.
You've got Eagles versus Ravens. I'll start.
Okay.
You want me to start?
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually thought about this a lot, and I almost switched as we were talking about it because of some of the things you have said. I don't know. This, to me, I honestly think they could play 10 times, and it could be 5-5. The Eagles have been more consistent lately than the Ravens. So I started going, okay, a slight edge to me to the Eagles. However, It's at M&T.
Mm-hmm. Basically a home game for the Eagles.
And I've been, well, it's close. It's not a home game because I've been there.
It's basically a home game.
That place is a loud stadium.
It'll bleed green on.
There will be a sprinkle of green.
Oh, it'll be all green.
You'll see a sea of purple. You will see a sea of purple. I mean, there are dedicated fans and they're hardcore there. It's only a 2-hour drive. I went from Philly on a bus and to go watch the game there in Baltimore. So I don't know. This is one of the hardest games that I've had to pick.
Do you want me to tell you?
But I am going to go with the Ravens.
You're going to go with the Ravens?
I'm sorry.
I respect that.
But I would prefer the Eagles to win.
Hmm.
But I am down a game, and there is some things that I have to consider to try to move up. So, what do you have, Drew?
This is actually really tough for me because
Yeah.
I think these teams are pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree that the Ravens are a little bit more inconsistent, but I also think when they're good, they're really good. I'm going to go Eagles.
Eagles.
But I don't feel extremely confident in that, so we'll see what happens.
If Barkley does what Barkley did last game,
destroyed me in fantasy.
Honestly, if Barkley plays like that and you don't have turnovers, you can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
definitely can win the Super Bowl.
I just want to point out that Malone got 185 points in fantasy against me because Saquon Barkley got like 45 points.
Yeah. Saquon was impressive.
Yeah, I really wish that was last week or any other week.
Any week, just not that one.
This week. But anyway.
Okay.
You know, my record in fantasy football is 248. Never broke 250.
I've done that. You just have to take 3 of my games and combine them.
I never broke 250.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, who do you got? Time's up.
Okay.
We know you're going to fly, Eagle fly.
Here's the deal.
You're going to fly. I would. If I was you.
The Ravens are currently ranked.
You're going to
currently ranked. Okay. You ready for this? The number 2 run defense in the NFL.
Okay.
The Eagles are ranked number 6.
It's all, like we said, it's all coming down to the running backs.
Yep. But the Eagles are the number 1 defense in the league.
Yes.
And the Ravens currently are, let's see
So
here.
you think they're gonna win in the passing game? Is that what you're going
The
with?
Ravens are currently 24th.
Ooh.
So the Ravens have a great run defense.
Yeah.
But they can't cover the pass whatsoever.
So you think A.J. Brown's going to have a big day?
Devontae Smith will be back. A.J. Brown will be there.
Oh, is Devontae Smith coming back?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dallas Goedert will be there.
Oh.
All of our friends are coming to the game.
Sneak that one in.
All of our
on
friends
me.
are coming to the game.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all hanging out. It'll be a good one. Here's the deal.
I didn't know that Devontae Smith is coming back.
The main catalyst is, will the Eagles be able to stop the run game?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that they will be able to.
Okay.
But here at Good Sports, we do know one thing. Fly, Eagles, fly. I'm going with birds.
All right. So we've got, we'll see. That is going to be, I mean, whoever has that should shoot up the ladder on, a top 10 list because that is a game of the week. That's a good game.
Did you hear that Nick Wright's an Eagles fan now?
It doesn't.
No, I'm not kidding you. Like, he had Eagles banners made.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That guy makes me want to.
Nick wrong.
Yeah.
You know
Nick
what he
wrong.
said? He's like, me and the Eagles fans have really been on a really fun, just adventure. And I'm like, no, we hate you. No, we don't actually. I don't think we hate Nick Wright. I think we just don't appreciate his takes.
Oh, he makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Nick wrong is. Purdy had a perfect game, and he's like, he didn't move him up, and then you say last week he moved him up.
He did move him
with
up.
him not playing.
Well, technically he moved him up this week.
He makes no sense.
Every time I see a thumbnail with his face, I just go, ew.
Ugh, yeah. Anyway. Okay. Well, that I think we'll do one more game.
Okay.
So we're doing a lot of games this week.
Okay.
Steelers Bengals.
Ooh, I love this.
This game is at Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati has lost a bunch of heartbreaking games.
Who day?
And they've got Chase.
What's their record at this point?
I think they're like 4-8 or something.
Yeah, but they're also
like that.
coming off a bye. There's no way they lose this, right?
So
the Bengals just came off a bye. There's no way they lose
the
this.
Steelers just lost a tough one, so they're going to want to win too, and they're in the playoff hunt. The thing that's hard is Cincinnati looks like it's now too late for them. There's a separation between the playoffs and where they've got to be. Could they make it? Barely.
They would literally have to not lose a game.
And they'd have to have the right teams lose games.
Yeah. I mean, they would probably make a wild card because that'd be 10-7, right?
Yeah, it's going to, but I mean, they have to win out.
It's 10-7 now because we have an extra game, right?
Yeah, 17 games.
Okay, so.
And they have 4 wins, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they get to 10 wins, they're making it.
Yeah, I mean, what's the likelihood when you've only won 4 games that you're going to win 6 in a row? That's hard. But they could, and it is in Cincinnati. Really, really tough. What do you got?
I'm just trying to look here.
Steelers,
There's
Bengals.
no way.
And it's that division, anybody could win at any time, as you see.
I mean, you're not wrong, though. The Chargers and Broncos are both 7-win teams.
Yeah, they're
already.
like 3 games ahead.
And then you got the Ravens and Steelers who are 8 games. Oh, man. Yeah, there's probably no way they make it.
Yeah, but I also have to look at certain things. That coach he's going to be worried he's on the hot seat. So he's going to want to win games. So he's not going to be coasting.
Listen, if I know Joey Burrow, he's not coasting. Give me Bengals.
Yeah,
give me Bengals.
And Chase.
I'm taking them.
All right.
Who day?
I would like them. Fan. I would like them to win, but Craig, in honor of you, I'm gonna go with the Steelers. I'm gonna pick the Steelers because I think coming off of that, they've barely been winning. I don't say it with a lot of convictions, but I got the Steelers. Drew, who do you got? Steelers versus the Bengals.
Give me Joe Burrow.
Okay, we got 2 Bengals.
I'm going Bengals.
Okay.
I also, sorry, Greg, I kind of hate the Steelers.
Wow, you got to work on your apologies.
Honesty at its finest.
I really feel bad
It's
about
another
this.
gross team. Sorry.
Yeah, your team's terrible.
Listen,
Okay.
here's the deal, Craig.
All right.
He just didn't want to vote for the wrong Pennsylvania team.
Yeah. So you know what? I didn't go over this, and I apologize to you. You were probably waiting for me to say this. You were 3-1 last week. We were tied.
Oh,
So you were.
I forgot
you took
about
the
that.
lead again. You were 33-19.
I'm undefeated.
If you go undefeated this time, you will have a massive lead over me because we picked a lot of different games.
yeah,
this time.
you would lose too.
You're
you would
30,
lose.
You're 33-19. I'm 32-20. Drew is 30-22, and Cameron.
So you got to win. You got to
is-
win the
is
Eagles
back.
game and the Bengals game.
I think we have. Do we have 3 games different?
No, just 2.
Yeah, the Dolphins. I think we picked difference on the Dolphins game, didn't we?
No, we all picked.
Oh, we did. You're
the
right.
Bills.
You're right. Thursday.
I originally picked the Dolphins.
That's right.
I changed.
That's true.
Everyone heard it.
Okay.
Drew accepted it,
Okay.
Randy.
Yeah, I
Okay, I
accepted
don't
it.
want to hear this.
We won't call you Nick Wright, who just takes the winners. So okay. I
I'm
won't-
calling it right
I
now.
won't-
The Chiefs are going to beat the Raiders by like 2 points.
Yes, it doesn't matter that the Razors bad. They'll win. Somebody will forget to tackle Mahomes as he goes for a walk down
Somebody's shoe
memory
will fall
lane.
off.
Yep.
They'll
so
trip.
okay, so it's Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of some things. And
Yeah.
just talking to Drew, and we're thinking of like some of the best movies, Thanksgiving movies, and we're reminiscing and thinking of the Rocky movies and the importance of what they did and what they have done in the importance. And so I believe some of the things that they've done. I think Rocky 2 was released, if I'm correct, Drew, on Thanksgiving. Rocky 1.
That is incorrect.
Okay. I'm sorry. The fight in Rocky 2 was on
The fight
Yes.
in Rocky 2 is
On Thanksgiving, in front of this man's home crowd, I'm gonna drop him like a bad habit.
And Rocky 1, they had the famous scene on the ice rink
Yeah.
with Adrian, and that was on Thanksgiving night. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Rocky 4 also was released, if I'm correct, on Thanksgiving.
Yes, it was.
And then you had Creed 1 was released. Is that right? As
Yeah.
well. So I mean, they tried to make a theme that Thanksgiving was an important part of all these things. And the same thing with was it Creed 2? They also had a fight on Thanksgiving, or it was released or something on Thanksgiving as well. So Rocky has a theme all the way through their series where Thanksgiving was a very memorable moment. And so we will go with the movies to watch this Thanksgiving. Rocky. In almost any Rocky movie you have, most of them have something to do with Thanksgiving.
I love Rocky. Such a great movie.
I think Rocky is one of the best overall films, I mean movies, I mean they were great.
You know why you think that?
Why?
It's Philadelphia, baby.
Oh,
Go Birds.
we go to Philadelphia.
He set himself up.
So if you go to, for those of you that have been to Philadelphia, if you go on the tour bus, it is so awesome. I went on the tour bus, and sometimes you get some people that hate their life and their job, and they're just like, man, this is a place that you can go to be bored. But sometimes you get some comedians, and they're hilarious. And so I went there, and one of the comedians, he's talking about, oh, they did this, this is the Liberty Bell and the Constitution, all these famous places, and they say, and the next stop, this is where everyone gets off the bus and goes. And it's the only place that is a fictional place. And it's where the Rocky statue and the whole bus. And some people get off at the Liberty Bell. Some people get off at, Benjamin Franklin's old home, all these famous places. But where the Rocky statue, it gets emptied, and it's awesome. And so I love it.
That's cool.
It's almost better when they're more offensive too.
Yeah.
I appreciate when he looked us in the eyes and said something offensive. You know? I was like, yeah, that's funny.
I do. I feel a little guilty though when I'm sitting there and I look at some of the history and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And my excitement level goes up. And then when I went to the Rocky Steps, I'm at a whole different level.
Yeah.
It's just, there's such a pride of America when you're running up and you feel like the blue collar guy that is fighting against the odds. It's just such a beautiful made up story that I just love it.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful, wonderful.
I love it. It's fantastic.
Can we get a quick ranking of the movies?
I will do Rockies. Okay. I'll just do the Rockies. Okay. For me. All right. I will say number 1, Rocky 4. In second place, I would say Rocky 2. Third place, I'd go Rocky 3. Fourth place, I'd go Rocky 1. Fifth place, I would go Balboa, which is 6. And then Rocky 5, I would say that one probably shouldn't have happened. That one was just bad.
Yeah, Rocky 5 was probably, even if you include the Creed movies, Rocky 5 is some of the worst.
Oh yeah, all the Creeds are above those. Some of the Creeds were pretty good too. I mean, I like the Creeds movies, but yeah, that would be my ranking. Do you Drew? Why don't you? You're a big Rocky fan. Do you want to do your rankings?
Trent, do you have a list made real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you go next? Because I'm making my list real quick.
Okay. Number 1.
Yes.
Rocky 2.
Okay. So I had up 2.
Number 2, I'm gonna go Creed.
Okay.
Rocky. Rocky 4.
Creed 1. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Rocky 4. So it'd be Rocky 2, Rocky, Creed, Rocky 4, Rocky 3, Rocky 2, Rocky Balboa, Rocky 5.
Rocky 5. Yeah. Yeah. We can pretty much put Rocky 5 at the last. Okay, Drew.
And sorry, my bad. Creed 3 was at the last too. Yeah,
but above Rocky 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I'm gonna go from worst to best.
Okay.
So
okay.
At number 9, I got Rocky 5.
Yes.
Garbage.
I don't think it's as bad as people say, but it is definitely the worst.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of a toss-up between number 8 is Creed 3 and number 7 is Creed 2. I think they're both on similar levels. They have some things I like about them and some things that are better with the others. Number 6, I go Rocky 3. I know I have that one kind of low, but I think it's just because what works about it is so much better in Rocky 4 that it just kind of makes that movie lesser because of how good Rocky 4 is. So if I'm in the mood for that kind of Rocky movie, I'm just going with the 4th one. Then we got Rocky Balboa. I think it's super good. I think that's probably the most underrated one. Then we go the original Rocky. Number 3, Creed. I actually really love the first Creed.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot better than the other two. And then number 2, Rocky 4, and number 1, Rocky 2.
Rocky 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna just make a plug for Rocky 3. Now, if you're younger, it's a different
I
thing.
love Rocky 3, by the way.
I'm gonna give you.
I
yes.
just watched it
I'm
on
just gonna
Sunday.
say when that movie came out, after I got done watching it, I ran through our little town, and I was just running downtown by myself as a 10-year-old kid, and I started shadow boxing while I'm running down, and a guy drove by stopped. I didn't notice him because I was in my shadow boxing. And he just yelled out, you just got done watching Rocky. I was so embarrassed. But when Rocky 3 came out, the biggest actor at the time in the A-Team was B.A. Baracus, I think is his name, from the A-Team, and that was Mr. T. So you don't have cable and all these things back then. And he is like the channel 6 or 8 or whatever he was on. He was like the biggest actor, and now he's the villain. So and all the eyes were on when you didn't have cable. You're watching channel 2, 6, or 8, or whatever, NBC, ABC, or CBS. And so he's the big guy. Then you also have a huge WWF at the time, Hulk Hogan, who makes a huge cameo in the movie. And he is like, everybody knew Hulk Hogan. He was Hulkamaniacs. So when you add that and you add this big actor and you take this Rocky thing, it was a classic. So at the time, that was masterfully done.
Yeah. Rocky 3 is the first Rocky film I ever saw. So I loved it when I first watched it, and I think it was just hard to go from Rocky 3 to immediately Rocky 4 was the second Rocky movie.
Yes.
And
it was awesome.
It's just so great.
Rocky 4 is awesome.
And watching them like within a few days. I have nothing against Rocky 3. I love Rocky 3. I love all of these movies, including all the Creeds. And even Rocky 5, I still watch it with every single watch through of all the movies. I don't skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, it's just Rocky 4 is pure 80s action movie. Like, I love how the first 2 Rockies are dramas, and then the next 2 are action movies.
Yeah.
And then they go back to dramas.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
genius movies. They did well, and again, Rocky is a Thanksgiving theme. We hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. Look at the things in your life, and it's a good time to look and just look around and see all the good things. There's enough things in this world that are hard. There's also a lot of good things. And
Absolutely.
So it's a good time to spend that. So I hope you guys do that. If you have a time you want to watch a movie, we're just saying Rocky's pretty good choice. So anyway, we'll see who prevails here this week in the NFL. We'll talk some more NBA next week. We've got some rising stars. Maybe we'll talk Lakers, and Connect is doing very well. And some things coming up, but we'll see you. I hope everybody has a really good Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time. Also, remember, hit that subscribe button. It means a lot. Thank you.
Do it, please.